I'm not proud of it, but I used to be one of those absolute form Nazis in the gym where I would always think I've got to train perfectly strict with proper form or else the exercise somehow didn't count. And ultimately, this was also kind of a little bit of a way to bolster up my frail male ego by looking down upon the mere peasants who had less than perfect form because I knew I was better than them. However, a recent study just came out pointing out that whether or not you're doing super strict form or putting a little bit of body English and coloring outside the lines when it comes to your technique may not really matter all that much when it comes to hypertrophy and developing your beautiful strength. So welcome back, my friend, Matt Schifferly, with another video to help you be fit and live free. And today we're looking at considerations of super strict form, getting everything perfect, or letting things go a little bit. And this is especially important in the world of basically calisthenics, bodybuilding, bodyweight bodybuilding, if you will, progressive calisthenics, because form and technique is such a big, vital part of that training discipline because you largely adjust the resistance of the exercise based on your technique. And in some ways, trying to be super strict and dogmatic about your technique may actually even be holding you back a little bit. I've experienced this myself as well as many times I'm working with clients who will say, okay, I've got to do this one calisthenics exercise and I can't do anything else until I get that absolutely 100% perfect. But like any type of physiological discipline, like martial arts and yoga and stuff, there's always going to be improvement to be made. I've been doing Taekwondo since I was 10, and I'm still working on the details on the most basic techniques that I learned literally on day one. But that doesn't excuse the importance of doing better technique, of trying to make things as good as possible rather than taking a emotional or kind of mental lackadaisical approach of like, it's good enough, it doesn't need to be perfect, and never striving for improvement. Because yes, improving your technique can definitely make a big difference in how well or the effect you're getting from your workouts. So there's a number of ways you can take the information from that study. First of which is that if you're primarily trying to build muscle and improve your physique, no, you don't need absolute dead-on perfect form. You don't need to be a form Nazi in order to get what you want out of it. Because remember that your ability to stimulate hypertrophy comes more from achieving the objective of challenging your muscular work capacity, pushing your muscles to a good degree of fatigue against a good amount of resistance. And whether or not you're using strict technique or having a little bit more of that sloppier technique may not really matter all that much. However, generally speaking, having more strictness in your technique may make it a little bit easier to get the resistance and the tension into the muscle so you can push it to that higher degree. Meanwhile, at the same time, having a little bit of a less than perfect technique can push your work capacity a little bit higher, especially later in the set as your form erodes a little bit. It's kind of almost like a little bit of a technical drop set, if you will. If you're doing pull-ups and you're like, okay, I have to get my chest to the bar, and on those last few, you're kind of kicking your legs up a little bit, not getting quite as high, that can potentially push your muscles to a higher degree of fatigue, challenging your muscular work capacity, therefore creating a higher stimulus for building muscle, even though it's not perfect. And then you can work on improving those repetitions to make further progress later on. So the bottom line is don't strive for perfection, but at the same time, don't settle for sloppy technique. Work to improve technique, work to advance your ability to challenge your muscular work capacity, and let a little bit of body English or strict technique fit when and where it is with your programming and with the select exercises that you're doing. Hopefully that helps you in your workouts this week. Let me know if you have questions down below. Be fit and live free.